and tired.
What's up guys, it's Lucid. I'm here to talk about my build today. I already made a build video before, but it wasn't done yet. It really wasn't done. And a good Path of Exile streamer, It's Yogi, 4 days after that released pretty much the same build, but better. You know, and so I wanted to one-up that basically, or what I feel is one-upping that, and go and show you the build that's about a 200C build. It can be cheaper. I mean, that's with good rolls. If you're buying stuff with good rolls and everything, and paying full price. It's CI. It's just slightly different than the life-based version. If you want to check out the life-based version, it's in my videos on my channel. But I'm gonna put It's Yogi's video link in the description for his life-based one, and you could follow that to the T and just use that. But let's get started on the CI version of this build. For the Ascendancy, it's a Witch Elementalist Flameblast. For the Ascendancy, we went with Beacon of Ruin, Paragon of the Calamity, and Pendulum of Destruction. Though on my build right now I actually have Liege of the Primordial, and that's really a personal preference thing. You can use a Chaos Golem, you definitely want the Fire Golem for the extra damage. I just run 2 Fire Golems, but you can do, if you can get the dex to do a Lightning Golem, that'll give you a faster cast speed too. It's Yogi said something about chaining. I've never really had a problem with chaining. I've never gotten killed by having 2 of these out, but I do believe it can happen. But if you're running this exact build and you have 10k plus ES like I have, then you should be okay. You should be. But if you don't want to do that, there's cast speed here. It's great, you know, getting Pendulum of Destruction. There's no problem with that at all. So, and that, in fact, that's probably better if you wanted to do more PvP anyways. But this is the tree right here. It's going to be in the description. I don't have to go over it too much. I just want to kind of go over what I would do first. And what I would do first is come up here through the energy shield, maybe get this increased area, mana to the fire. You can kind of get all of this. I would leave this for last, right here. Those last 10 levels, leave 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So this will be 91 right here, and all this do very last. So come up, get this, get the fire first. When starting to build this build, you're probably going to have to go life-based first. So that might mean instead of getting this energy shield here, getting this life here, instead of going over here and getting all this chaos inoculation stuff, just go down here and grab this life instead. You pretty much want to do the life-based version first, unless you can switch over to CI earlier, but you know, that's on you. So another thing I would say for the last, you know, when you're about level 80, you should be getting this at around level 80, this wheel. Everything else should come first. So this wheel, and then this stretch right here last. That's about that for that. So here's what my tree looks like. It's the same exact thing. The jewels I'm using though: Energy from Within Cobalt Jewel, 12% increased maximum energy shield, and the life in the area is transformed to energy shield. Perfect for CI, and makes this life energy shield wheel here give you a crap ton of energy shield. So I'm using that, and these other ones I would just recommend getting more to maximum energy shield and a faster energy shield recharge rate on these other ones that you have. This one just has cast speed, damage over time, and increased maximum energy shield. I plan on switching that out because I'm not even sure if the damage over time scales with Ignite or not, but I've seen some with like area damage. I might do that or something like that. So it's the same thing, but you see I'm level 93 right now, so I haven't done this right here, but I will get to that, and I need to grab that little guy there too. And like I said, I have Liege of the Primordial at the moment. So I have 10k ES, Here's what it looks like with the flasks up. Got my resistances capped. Chance to block when you don't have any flasks up is 25. Chance to block spells is 14. Only 6% chance to evade, no armor or anything. But as soon as you hit all these, 60% physical damage reduction, 50% chance to evade attacks, 65% block, and 50% spell block. Let me tell you, that's pretty nice when you have 10k, ES as it is, and you can pretty much keep those flasks up the whole time. So it's definitely a really cool thing there. So my gear, I'm gonna try to link it, but I might switch off this character. So if you really want to look at the gear, I'll put my cursor over it, pause the video, But the uniques, the stuff that's going to cost you money in this build to get is Doriana's Catalyst, especially with good rolls, is a little expensive. But the elemental damage double dips, spell damage only, as this is what its Yoji says anyways, and I trust his opinion on all this stuff. So elemental damage scales the ignite and the initial blast of Flameblast, whereas spell damage just does the initial blast. So this one has a crap ton of elemental damage, and also have cast speed, so pretty great weapon. For a shield, you want Wrathpith Globe, that way you get that spell block. If you're doing the life-based version, you also get extra life on there too, so it's pretty cool. As a CI build, you gotta have some way to not be stunned. Now, if you can get Starforge, or it's basing, your stun off of 500% of your mana, or you have some other, there's like a new ring. There's other ways to kind of get away from being stunned, have stuff on your belt for stun recovery and all that. But I just do this, cannot be stunned. I don't like to be stunned in PvP, and it has 30% increased rarity of items. And the negative to this, I mean, obviously you lose some stats, but the negative to this unique is really supposed to be the 20% reduced maximum life. But I'm CI, so that isn't a negative at all. So besides that, yeah, those are the only uniques you really got. Oh yeah, flasks. The Rumi's Concoction. That's super important. That's what's going to bring your block and your spell block up to where it's reasonable. If you're doing a life-based build, this amulet, instead you would want a stone lapis amulet, and that'll give you cap spell block instead of how I only have 50%. But I'm CI, so I chose the cannot be stunned instead. Here, I'll just hold. I'm just going to go over all the weapons and armor. You can pause for any one of these. But there will also be a link in the description. So as you can see, some of the gear isn't the greatest. I could have a better belt, I could definitely have better gloves, I could definitely have a better helmet, better boots, and definitely better chests. There's some chests with close to 1,000 energy shield. Mine only has, with 20% quality, 656, and not that great of stats. Another thing that I don't have that you can get is the enchantment here. You can get, I don't know if you can get 40% in Merc, but I'm pretty sure you can get it in Merc, but in Uber you get 40% increased Flameblast damage. So that's pretty huge. I am working on getting that at the moment. Okay, so I think I went over all the gear. My flasks just have evasion and armor in the block, and then I have the Quicksilver, and they all I try to have them all get rid of certain ailments, so I don't have to really worry about that because I'm not Pathfinder or anything, and Ignite will keep the shield from going up, so will bleed, obviously. So those are all good things to have. So I'm gonna go over the gems real quick that I have. I'm just gonna hold them. You can pause over it, and then I'll tell you what they do and why I have them where they are and all that good stuff. So just finish going over all these so that you can pause if needed. Some of them you'll notice It's like, what is that doing there? I'm just leveling that gem or something like that. I could definitely stick something else in there. And I'll go over that in just a second. You'll notice that I have 2 cast when damage taken setups, and I'm going to end up adding Vortex into it. I just don't have it at the moment. Okay, I wasn't sure if I switched some stuff up there. Fireball, oh no. Okay, so went over all the gear. So this, I've run tier 16 maps pretty much no problem. I didn't know you could ignite the Minotaur on the Minotaur map, so when I did it, and the only time I've done it, I got him like 3/4 of the way down, and then I asked for help because I was afraid I was going to die. And when I had someone else come in there to help me, all of a sudden his crazy under the ground and then pop up underneath of you move was one-shotting both of us, when it was just taking me 3/4 of the way down before. Now I'm sure if I had 12k ES, I probably would have been able to live through it barely, but I only have 10k. I'm not sure what map mods are on there either. I mean, it was a pretty rippy map, so, but definitely possible. I mean, if I had been igniting him the whole time, he definitely would have been dead. I just, for some, it's Phoenix that can't be ignited. I don't know why I thought that it was him, but it can definitely do. I do a lot of ripping maps. As you see, I mean, I have almost 100% completed bonus objectives, and it doesn't say I've run it for some reason. I just didn't clear it, because usually when you don't clear it, like I have this one that I forgot to corrupt, and it, you see the map still shows up, but I definitely did it. Maybe that's because I completed it, but I didn't complete. Okay, see, so I didn't end up completing that one. But you know, tier 15 maps, I run Abyss all the time. I can throw that up right now, and you can see some of that. And it's really a piece of cake, even when it's rippy. Even when I have some pretty hard mods on there, a lot of times I just kind of scoff at them and just go ahead and roll with it. Especially because I play in standard though, so if I die, it's not like the biggest deal either, because I can just run a bunch of maps. I don't die very often, so every once in a while it's not a big deal. This build is hardcore viable. You just can't play, you know, you just can't play crazy like I do, because I run through maps even if I think there's a good chance I'll die. But I do that because I'm in standard. So I've done Uber at Zari many times. I was surprised at how fast he died, you know. I was extremely surprised actually. And I don't have nearly as much damage, honestly, as I could get. I could get better rolls on the Catalyst. I can get the 40% increased Flameblast damage. And there's probably a few other ways I could scale some damage. I could probably get a flask with the 40% increased damage if I really wanted to do it, and I could only imagine how fast. Also, the Paragon of the Calamity, isn't that what it's called? Pendulum of Destruction. Sorry, if I had that instead of Liege of the Primordial, I bet you on bosses, when you get that 100% increased elemental damage, that the Ignite is just insane and will help you bring down stronger bosses quicker, besides being better for PvP. I have Decoy Totem set up with minion and totem resistances and faster casting, so you can just pop it up real quick, and that's, you want to use that. It's a big part of the build for boss fights. Go ahead and throw it up. On this one I have cast when damage taken, Molten Shell, Flame Golem, and Tempest Shield, so I don't have to cast the golems, which is really nice. Cast when damage taken, Immortal Call, increased duration, and then Clarity, but I plan on switching out Clarity for Vortex, or something else good with cast when damage taken, but right now I'm thinking Vortex. I don't know exactly where I'll stick Clarity yet, probably where I have Fireball, because I'm just leveling up Fireball just so I can kind of play around with it. I have Flameblast 6 linked, with increased area of effect, Fire Pen, controlled destruction, faster casting, and chance to ignite, and it is amazing. If you're going to 5-link it, just leave out the maybe the faster casting, unless your Flame Blast is growing really slow, or the Fire Pen. You can really, if you have a 5 link, leave out whatever one. Some are better than others. You can just kind of test them out, mess around, and see what's doing the most damage for you. Flame dash, set up the faster casting, just so you can flame dash really quick. Discipline, blasphemy, enfeeble, and enlighten. I just go ahead and stick them all together linked, because blasphemy is not going to affect discipline. It doesn't matter. It doesn't make it use any more mana. And the enlighten is going to go ahead and help with the mana with all of them. So overall, I feel like it's a really good setup, low maintenance. All I do when I get in the game is hit these 3 auras like I did when I kind of messed up a second ago, and bam, just like that. So, but it also does it Zeri even without being able to be ignited. I went in there for a blind run and had no problem beating it. It was took a little longer than I wanted, and it was a little intense because I really wasn't sure what was going on. But I'm sure I could have ended the fight a lot sooner if I would have known to stop the zombies going into her, and also not hit the one with the mirror. I think those are 2 mechanics that I learned about. And so I might try again, but since it can't be ignited, I don't know if it's one I'd really want to farm. But it's definitely capable of doing all these bosses. I haven't done the Shaper yet, but I can't wait to do it and put a video up of it. So, definitely keep checking out the channel. I hope you like this video. I hope you like the build. Check in the description for more information on the build. And if you have any comments, any questions, go ahead and comment. And subscribe, like. I appreciate the view, guys. Take it easy.